And Cassie, she told you personally that she was pregnant by you, right?
Uh, well, it was I believe it was we were just I don't think she intended to get pregnant. No woman who accidentally gets pregnant intends to get pregnant. We just went a little bit too far. This one encounter in New York in the Gramercy Park Hotel, which is crazy. I can even remember where I got her pregnant at. At the time, I was on parole, so I was checking in the parole like every week or every 2 weeks. Remember, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still out in the street. I'm getting money from them, so my lifestyle didn't actually fit my income. If you understand what I'm saying, um, it really didn't. So I remember like specifically, I go to I go to see Cassie and we have this crazy encounter. Like we probably had sex like 2.5, 3 days. Ecstasy, Molly. This was still pretty early in the relationship. I want to say it was like 2012, 2013. We have this amazing encounter, great time. I leave her. Now, when I leave her, I remember literally I'm going to Harlem because I worked as a contractor. I'm still an independent construction contractor, but I had an office in Manhattan in Harlem. So when I left Cassie after this freak off, I drive to my office. It's 7 o'clock. I got to go to work. There was a tail light out on my pickup truck, and I got pulled over by the damn NYPD. They arrest me for a broken tail light. Ultimately, I get violated by parole for being out before parole told me I could go out, and I get detained for a violation. Now, on this violation, I find out Cassie's pregnant. Thinking about it a little bit, I realized, wait a minute, you had sex with her. She's 2 months pregnant. This is probably your baby. So I think I did a violation for maybe 6 months, 7 months. I had to do like this military program. It was so bogus and BS. But as soon as I came home, the first thing I did was look for Cassie. I had several phone numbers for her. I called them all. It might have took her 3 or 4 days. She calls me back. She's overseas. She's like, yo, where have you been? I said, yo, I got violated by parole. I was locked up. She says, oh my God, I was looking for you. You don't know how bad I was looking for you. We actually had a really good conversation the first time we reconnected after this violation, being separated for 7 to 8 months. So she tells me she's out of the States and she's like, yo, you know what? I'll be there in a week because I need to talk to you. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really think she's going to be there in a week. Yo, bro, clockwork. A week later, she texts me. She's in Manhattan. She's in the Gramercy Park Hotel. Can I meet her at 7 o'clock that night? Okay. I get to the Gramercy Park that evening. I remember I walk into the suite. Diddy actually let me in, which was weird because at that time Diddy didn't never let me in the beginning. But this time I went there, Diddy let me into the suite. He daps me up. Yo, bro, what's up, man? Been a long time. You look good. You look healthy. Yo, where you been? So as I'm telling him, he gives me this look and he's like, yo, bro, she was looking for you. So I said, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, bro, she was looking for you, bro. Y'all need to talk. So I'm like, all right. Cassie comes out the room soon as he says that, looking like Cassie, looking beautiful. Me and her reconnect. We hug each other. She sits me on the couch in the living room and she tells me she was pregnant. So I said, well, like, how do you know it was mine? Typical women. I know it was you. You were the only guy around that time. It wasn't Sean. I know it was you. She tells me all of this to my face. She cries. She tells me she doesn't believe in abortion, but she only had the abortion because she didn't know who I was and how to find me. And I believed her from the emotional response she gave me, the crying, the look of regret that she did it. I actually believed her. You know what I'm saying? So I sat there myself, and I'll be honest, I was a little teary eyed myself because no one really likes to see beautiful women cry. And she's crying about something that affected both of us. I kind of felt something towards it. So I'm like, damn, all right, it's like a sad situation. But the craziest part, bro, is I'm thinking she just called me to tell me about the pregnancy and I'm leaving. As I get up to leave, she's like, where you going? I said, I'm leaving. She's like, oh no, absolutely not, Sugar D. I've been waiting for you. Because she used to call me Sugar D. She's like, I've been waiting for you. No, 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 no. You're not going nowhere. So I said, are you serious? Like, what about getting pregnant? She says, no, I'm on birth control now. We're okay. You're not going anywhere. She says, baby, does he have to leave? Diddy says, of course not. So, bro, me and her literally restart right where we left off. Before the end of the night, we have an unprotected sex again, like nothing happened. And bro, this went on for years after I impregnated her and she had an abortion.
And if I'm not mistaken, Cassie, she's the one that gave you Molly for the first time, and Diddy, he's the one that gave you the pink cocaine, right?
Yeah. Cassie kind of drugged me, like I told you about earlier. Cassie actually did drug me, but Diddy's drugging me was with that Tunchi stuff. I believe it was Tunchi now because of what it did to me. And the funny part is that I was talking to one of the male providers today, and he actually told me when he heard me talking about how Diddy drugged me, he remembers how Diddy drugged him. Diddy did this to a lot of people. Like the real Rico was the male prostitutes. It wasn't Jane and Cassie. It was the male prostitutes who Cassie, Jane, and Diddy manipulated into these situations. Because we all have the same story. I'm pretty sure you could agree because you've interviewed what, two or three of us by now. We pretty much all got the same story. Um, Diddy gave me the Molly, basically telling me that if I didn't take it, Cassie would get mad. So now I only took a little bit of it because, again, I'm not a big drug person and I really just wanted to satisfy him and get him out of my face. So I said, all right, give me a little piece. It's Diddy. He's a billionaire. I've known him 5 or 6 years by now. He's never tried to hurt me. We had that one encounter where he asked me about the homosexual thing, but he paid me 5 grand and never did it again. So I really had no reason not to trust him. I take this substance, bro. I don't even think it took 30 minutes. This thing rocked me, bro. Yo, it rocked me. I remember I was hot, I was sweating, I was throwing up. I couldn't walk. I crawled across a 5-star hotel room to the bathroom to throw up in the toilet. I was so weak. This might have went on maybe 30 minutes, bro. I just threw up everything I had inside of me. Even water, liquid, everything came out. I finally get up. I managed to regain my strength. I go back in the living room. I'm sweating profusely, bro. Diddy comes out. First thing he notices, what's wrong with you? I say, yo, whatever you gave me, bro, not good. It's me up. I need to go. Cassie comes out. She sees me. She says, oh my God, what's wrong with you? I said, yo, I need to get out of here. Whatever he just gave me, it got me twisted. She says, yo, what did you give him? He said, I gave him the pink stuff. I gave him some Molly. And she looked at him and just did this. And I said, yo, he said he gave me Molly. I never had nothing like this. She said, it's because it's not Molly. And I was like, what? But I'm so high, I can't really do anything about it. Because, bro, I was out of it. I could barely grasp my reality at this point. So they tell me, be careful. Diddy gives me like $1,500, which is the lowest amount he ever paid me. He gave me $1,500 after he drugged me with a substance that completely tore me from limb to limb. They tell me to be careful. They direct me to sneak out of the Trump International in Central Park West through the back staircase, which I did. Bro, I'm completely out of it, bro. I can barely stand. I'm sweating. It's December. It's December, bro. I got a coat on. I'm pouring sweat in the middle of Manhattan. Not a good look for a black man, bro. Not. I can't catch a cab. The cab drivers are seeing me. They riding by me. I'm nervous as hell. I can't figure it out. So I start walking down. I believe it was Broadway I tried to get to. I start walking towards Broadway, bro, just to get out the area. By the time I realized where I was in Union Square. Um, uh, yeah, messed up, bro. Sweating. I was so out of it at this point getting to Union Square. I found like a little alcove on a side street. And I don't know if you've ever been in New York and you see like the homeless people sleeping in the side street in like a little alcove or like a department store, like a Macy's exit door or something. That was Dave curled up in the corner of like a Macy's exit door. It might have been Old Navy I was at actually in the corner like a homeless man sweating, not being able to figure out what the hell I'm doing. I call my bro. I say, yo, bro, I'm messed up. I need you to come get me in the city. I share my location with him. Like 30 minutes later, he gets there. He says, yo, you look terrible. He took me to the doctor. The doctor wanted to run all these tests on me, but I got scared because I knew what I had taken. So I leave and I spend like the next 3 or 4 days just trying to recover and get it back. The other guy I talked to, he told me the same experience happened to him when Diddy drugged him. The exact same effects that I went through, whatever Diddy gave him, the same thing happened to him too. Yup.
Insane. And to go back to Cassie, you said that she used to have the sheets all soaked up, right? During freakoffs?
Yeah, bro. Like that was the biggest expense. I would see like their incidental bill had to be crazy from the baby oil on the floor to the fires to the multiple sheets because there used to be fires, bro. Like baby oil and material is flammable. You know what I'm saying? So we got all of this baby oil all over the sheets. We're using these little tea candles to light the room. We're not having delicate sex. It's passionate, it's physical. We're knocking stuff over. One time, a few times, we would knock over tea candles. The comforters would catch on fire. A part of the rug would catch on fire. Some of the couch would catch on fire. So things were always burning in these freak offs from the baby oil, candles, and materials. Um, it was like those. It's really sad, bro, because when you go through situations like this, there's certain things you can never forget as much as you want to. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of one of those things as time went by, I was kind of able to displace it until Shorty did all of this Cassie, where she brought it back all up. So now we have to relive it all, and it comes back like it's fresh trauma now.
And Cassie told you personally that she was the best she ever had, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was after that orgy with Daniel Phillips. Diddy told me first. Diddy comes out. He gives me the $8,000 after he let Daniel Phillip out the apartment, and he says, "Yo, listen, bro. She says you the best D she ever had in her life." I said, "Word?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, cool, whatever. What am I supposed to say? This is her man. That's their situation." The funny part is, bro, I had to go to work right after this. I had been there 2 days. I had a job. I'm a regular person. I go to work. I'm exhausted. My manager sees it all in my face. At the time, I was an optician on the Upper East Side, and I believe it was like a luxury eyewear trade. So she says, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" My manager knew I was sleeping with Cassie because I used to leave work to go sleep with Cassie. And I used to pay my manager like $200-300 of what Diddy paid me to hold me down. Like she's not making $200 or $300 a day just to hold somebody down to go do something. So I'd be like, "Yo, Brenda, what's up? Let me give you $400, $500, $300. Just hold me down, finish the day. Let me go do this." All right, bet. So I get to work that morning. I tell Brenda I saw Cassie. She's like, "Oh my God, okay, how much you want? How much you gonna give me to go to sleep?" I think I gave her like $300 or $400. I go in the back, I go to sleep. Couple hours later, my phone is ringing. Brenda actually brings me my phone, like, "Yo, somebody's calling you off the hook." I answer the phone. It's Cassie. "Yo, what you doing?" I'm like, "Trying to sleep. I'm at work." She says, "Yo, listen, I need more. That was great." I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah, I was asleep all this time. I got back up. Can you come back uptown?" I said, "I'm at work." She said, "So what? Just leave. Didn't you say you could leave before? You've left other times." I said, "Well, I got to pay my manager. I don't really have it to pay my manager." She said, "What you mean? We just gave you $8,000 and I'm going to pay you to come back." I'm sitting there. My manager is right in my face, bro, listening to the call. She's like, "Go, go, go." um, so I said, "All right." I said, "All right, I'll be up there in a little bit." She says, "You got to come now because we're leaving tonight." So I pay my manager another $300-400. I go back. Soon as I get there this time, Cassie opens the door. She hugs me real tight. We're sitting in the living room. She says, "Yo, that was great. You might have been the best D I ever had." And I said, "Well, he said that to me. Thank you." She says, "No, I'm serious." She says, "Listen, I want to talk to you." I said, "All right, we talking." She said, "Well, I remember I told you about you and the last guy. Whoever won was going to be my guy." I said, "Yeah." She says, "You won." I said, "Okay." So she says, "Listen, why don't we do something exclusive? Like you show me your test results every month. You can come satisfy me. Like we like you. We want to keep you. You're clean. You're safe." So she basically makes me this offer to be her permanent provider. Wink, wink. Like she's telling the truth and there's no one else. We now know there were many other people, but she basically tells me that I'm going to be the only guy because I beat Daniel Phillip. I'm like, all right. So that's kind of what started my exclusive relationship with her. That.
And she wrote a song for you, right?
Yes, well, she told me she wrote the song. She actually used to sing it to me like every time we had sex for probably a year. It's a song with French Montana on the Cassie Super album called Addiction. Um, and I didn't believe her, bro. I swear to you, I didn't believe this girl wrote me no song. I'm like, yeah, get out of here. Yeah, right. But one time I remember I was with her and she's on top of me, like during the actual encounter. We vibing as men and women do when you've had sex with women for a long time. Y'all just can talk during sex because y'all so comfortable with each other. And she puts the song on and she's like humming the song. And I was like, "Yo, you really wrote this song for me?" And she says, "Listen to the words." So, bro, this is probably the first time I listened to the words of this song. And I swear to you, the words of this song is a freak off with me and this girl. Like she's literally talking about how she's waiting for me. She don't want to waste no time. The mood is right. It's literally the freak offs me and this girl have been having for years. So this was the first night I realized that I might have actually inspired her to sing this song from the freak offs we was having. I still listen to it.
Oh, for real? You still listen to her, yo?
Yeah, I still listen to it because when I listen to the song, it reminds me of her what she said. So what, I listen to the song. Thank you for writing me a song and dedicating your love to me, baby. Thank you.